All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Team Passion Zoom call. It is August 10th, 2015. And tonight, I figured we would just do a big Q&A session. So you're going to be able to unmute yourself and ask questions. I have a couple to start with, so we'll see how long these take me to get through. But I think, about a month ago we had asked, on some topics, and we covered a couple of them, and a few of them are reappearing. And I think I just wanted to hear kind of what everybody is going through right now in their struggles. So that's why I kind of asked what everybody wanted to hear about. And yeah, so that's kind of where I wanted to start. I wanted to share that quote again from Carrie Kingman that I shared today because, oh my gosh, it was so simple but so powerful. But I kind of wanted to start with that. I loved it. She said today in her post, instead of saying, "I don't have time," switch that to, "It's not a priority," and see how that feels. And that's a good one. So kind of think about that next time you say, "I just don't have time." Switch it to, "Well, I'm not making this a priority," and see if that hurts a little. All right. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about, and this, I know a lot of new coaches get on this, or coaches who are just trying to take off with the business. They just keep trying, but something stops them. So I wanted to quickly go over the 3 vital behaviors again. We have about 50 people, coaches that join the team a day. So, bear with me here for those of you guys who know the 3 vital behaviors. But I wanted to make a big point with the 3 vital behaviors today. The 3 vital behaviors are called the 3 vital behaviors for a vital reason, right? You have to do all 3 every single day, no matter what. There are so many people who say, "I'm doing everything you tell me to," and then we go over the 3 vital behaviors, except that. Yeah, it's a puzzle, and all the puzzle pieces, the way for this to work is to do them all together. And one of the biggest pieces that everybody misses, personal development. You cannot succeed in this business without doing it. And it's not just like 5 minutes a day, like I'm reading that GoPro book your coach sent you. Like, that's not your personal development. You have to do at least 30 minutes a day. If you can, you really got to try to dig into that. Do it in your car, wake up 30 minutes earlier, go to bed 30 minutes later, whatever you have to do. Play that instead of your workout music, or instead of your if you've been doing a program for 90 days, you know what they say by now in the disc, right? Shut them off. Shut off Tony, shut off Sean, and just listen to some personal development. So make sure that you're doing that. That's why you're getting discouraged, and that's why you stop inviting, and that's why you stop being a product of the product, because you're hearing no, you're hearing objections, you're hearing I don't have money, you're hearing I don't have time, you're hearing this is a scam, I can go get this cheaper, and you're just getting defeated over and over and over again. And if you're not doing your personal development, you're going to deflate. You're just not going to be able to come out of it. It's going to take a lot longer for you to come out of it. One of the things I wanted to talk about in the inviting piece is a lot of people will say to me, I'm inviting, but what does that look like? Are you inviting 3 brand new people every day? Okay, if you've been at this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and you're like, everybody has told me no, have you really only invited 10 people total in 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Because if you have, then that's normal. All 10 people are going to tell you no. Okay, so it has to be 3 new people a day. So that's at least 15 to 25 people a week, right? 15 to 21 people. You have to, however many days you decide to work this business, 5 or 7, you have to be inviting 3 new people every day. That's going to get you through a lot more people. You're going to hear a lot more no's, but it's going to get you to those few yeses that are in there. And remember, a no just means not now. Many, many people are going to watch you for a few months, a few weeks, a few years. This month, I have had 3 new coaches join me, and all 3 of them have been on my Facebook personal friends list for 5 years, right? So they were watching. They just weren't ready. I invited. They just weren't ready. So please, please, you have to keep inviting. The invite is said 3 times for a reason. 3 brand new people every single day. We're going to talk about the follow-up piece in a little bit, because I know that was a question. How many times do I follow up? How many times do I annoy people, right? And being a product of the product, it's got to be, if you're not doing your workouts and drinking your shake, you're not feeling your best, right? And you're feeling like you can't share, with conviction because you're not doing it. So you're like, why would they follow me? Because I'm not doing it, right? So that's another thing that comes up with new coaches. I'm still on my journey, so why would people come to a coach that's overweight? As long as you're on your journey and you're doing your journey, that's all that matters. So it does not matter if you are at your goal or not. You can still be an amazing coach and inspire, educate, and motivate people on your journey. So please know that. Don't wait to invite when you've lost your 35 pounds or whatever it is. Don't wait. People respect and want to do this journey with you, alongside you. They're going to feel connected with you, and they're going to want to be a part of it. So please don't think that you have to be done before you can start working this business, okay? So be a product of the product every single day. Invite. That's 3 brand new people every day. And please, 30 minutes a day of your personal development. Please. And keep trying. If you're like reading GoPro and you're like, this is boring, find something else. Find another book. We have on our teampassiontraining.com website, we have a whole file, personal development suggestions, all in there. There's probably 45 books and lots of different authors. So get out there and just start. You have to do it. All right, so posting tips was one of the questions that I saw. How many times a day should I be posting without over posting, right? So there is a file in the Team Passion, I believe it's in the Team Passion training website. If not, we'll get it there. It should be. And it's called Social Media Post Guidelines. And it gives you ideas of what you should be posting 3 times a day. And it gives you Beachbody examples of what you should post, like Monday, post this, Tuesday, post that. Your most popular posting times are 9 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is when I would save your Beachbody post for, because that's when everybody's winding down from the day. They have the TV on, they open up their phone, they open up their computer, and they start scrolling Facebook, and they're going to see you. So that's when the most eyes are going to be on you. Now, your post every day should not say, my challenge group starts after Labor Day, join me, click here, here's my website. Don't sell people, right? Facts tell, but stories sell. So this is where you really, at 9 p.m. every night, you've got to be talking about your story. You've got to be talking about somebody else's story. You've got to be just really putting people, the other question that goes along with this was, how do I tell my story without making people feel bad, right? Like, everything's so great in my life, join me, without people being like, oh, right? You want to tell your story or do those posts about Beachbody and why people want to join you. You want to do it in a way where people can put themselves in your post, right? How many times have I've heard people say, oh my gosh, Nicole, that's me. That's exactly me. Or, whatever you have been able to say on social media, they have put themselves into that story. Now, it takes a little while for that to kind of happen. You're like, oh, I don't really get it, but you'll feel it. But you want to share whatever's happened so far in your journey. And even if you just signed up a week ago, nothing's really happened, right? You might feel a little bit better, but nothing's really happened yet. Talk about why you started. You know, I've been feeling so lethargic and just tired and out of energy, and I was sick of trying everything under the sun. And I decided to join a friend who kept talking about the 21-day fix in Shakeology, and I can't believe 7 days drinking this shake every day, I truly do feel amazing, and this is what it's done for me so far. You know, something like that, but that piece of that story where I was tired of feeling lethargic. I was tired of trying everything out there with no support. People are going to put themselves in that piece of the story. Oh my gosh, I'm lethargic. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of trying everything else, right? So they're going to place themselves in a piece of your story that you're sharing. So they're not going to feel bad. They're going to be like, I want to feel good, okay? So that's kind of how you get your story out there, and you get it out in pieces. And you can share my story, and you can share other coaches' story on the team that you're like, oh my gosh, I saw someone who posted about they used to have IBS or they used to have migraines. Share that story. That's why we talk a lot in our pages, so that everybody knows each other's stories and kind of can share snippets and bits and pieces of, you know, and you can just say a coach on my team. You don't have to use the person's name, you know, or anything like that, but just make sure you're telling stories every night at 9 o'clock. Make sure that you are, you're just being you. Okay, the biggest mistake you can make is following top coaches and then trying to do exactly what they do and go back to your Facebook and try to do that and make those same posts. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And you have to make sure that you're being you. And, you know, you can take tidbits of it and be like, oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to actually use that piece. But make sure you say it in your own voice. You know, so make sure that your posts are you 110%. If you don't normally say, woohoo, don't post that, right? So just make sure that it's things that you would say, you know, and don't copy. You know, a lot of my posts are always free for you to take. You don't ever have to ask me. Please don't. I get messages all the time. Can I use that post? Yes. You don't even ever have to ask me. But again, if I add a woohoo or a smiley face or an extra exclamation, and that's not normally you, leave those out, okay? So that's how you do it. And then the rest of the day, just talk about your life. Post an inspiring quote. Ask a question. People on your Facebook love to talk about themselves. Ask them a question and let them talk about themselves. You know, to ask them to post a picture of their dog. Ask them where they're, you know, what they did this summer. Ask them how many kids they have, and, you know, what their ages are, you know, whatever. Just ask kind of like a poll question, but more personal, so that they can get to talk about themselves. Something that's always super popular on my page is something like about, you know, what's your favorite 80s movie or your favorite 80s actor or something. So use whatever, you know, whatever age would work for you. But just post things that get people talking the rest of the time. So 9 a.m. and noon, you know, and 9 a.m. you can certainly post that you already did your workout and you feel great. It's okay to post 2 Beachbody related stuff twice a day. That's okay. Just don't post, join me, pick me, join my challenge. Like, just don't sell on your Facebook page. That's what people don't want. You need to be unique as a Beachbody coach. And the only way to do that is to be you. And people are going to join you for you. They're not going to join you because of you're asking them to join your challenge group. They're just not. My most popular times when people are like talking to me and private messages me is when I'm just talking about life. You know, so just make sure you're just being you and talking about life, and you'll never go wrong with, am I posting too much? You know, I had a coach say, okay, so I hardly ever post, and now I'm posting like 3 to 5 times a day, but I'm just talking about life. Is that too much? And I went and looked at their page. I'm like, no, look at everybody interacting. It's so fun. So if nobody's interacting on your post, like if you go back 3 to 5 days or 7 days and you have like 1 like on stuff, it's time to look things over and do something completely different. And it's okay to like not talk about Beachbody for like a week, just to get your friends back into wanting to be around you. You know, you may have You may have overdone it with Beachbody, and they're like, oh, enough, and that's okay. You'll learn. It's totally fine to do that. Okay, time management. This question comes up every Q&A, right? How do I manage my time? Okay, I have done video, Zoom, files. I've done so much on this that I got nothing left. So I'm going to advise you to go to 30daypush.com and let Chalene tell you how to manage your time and use your calendar. And if you've tried it, try it again. Do all 30 days. If you've already done all 30 days, but you're still struggling, do it again. I've done 30-day push 9 times. Okay? So that's where I learned everything. Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog, great book. That's, whatever 3 vital behaviors is your hardest to do every day, that's the one you need to do first. That's what Eat That Frog is all about. Because the rest of your day and the rest of your Beachbody time is going to be so much more fun when you get what you least want to do out of the way. Now, if that's inviting, you need to think about inviting a little differently. You have to just talk to people. Again, Erin Conlon has a great podcast that she did for us, on her road to 5-star, and she just talked about, she would just send 5 to 10 messages a day just talking to people. That was it. She never mentioned Beachbody. And then they started asking from her posts, wait, what are you doing? And because she was talking to them, they would then go and stalk her Facebook, right? So the more you're talking to people on their comments, private messaging, they're going to start paying attention to you because you're paying attention to them, okay? So if you're thinking about invites as a chore, that it's going to sound salesy, then it's not right. You're not doing it right. It should be very natural. It should just feel really good. Like, I just want to help people. And you want to go in with your invites. I've said this over and over and over again. You want to go in with your invites with no expectation. No expectation that this person is going to sign up. Just go in your invite and just be like, hey, I don't know if you've been paying attention to what I've been doing, but when all the kids go back to school, we're going to start an online health and fitness accountability group. Super excited to share it with all my family and friends. Do you want to hear more about it? That's how chill your invites should be. And it should just be like offering someone a piece of gum. Hey, do you want a piece of gum? And if someone says no, you don't stop and asking the next person if they don't want a piece of gum. It's the same thing. I know it's easier to offer someone a piece of gum, but it's the same thing. You just have to keep going. You just, hey, do you want a piece of gum? They're not going, oh, why does my breath stink? They're just like, no, or yes, so it's the same thing with invites. Okay, this is the big one, and then I will open it up. So this was one that I was like, oh, I don't think we've gone over this in a long time. So how do you, a contact management system, how do you manage all of your contacts? So over these 5 years, I have done this a dozen different ways. So you have to pick and choose what's going to feel right for you. I've been doing MLM world for 13 years, so I know like all of these different contact systems. What I first did when I first became a Beachbody coach is I just grabbed a notebook. It was like a 3-subject notebook, and I was like, okay, here are my invites. The first 5 pages was my big contact list. This is where I just dumped every name from Facebook, from my Christmas card list, from my address book. That's where I just dumped every name. And this was like, this is my contact list. I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to inviting all of these people, but here's my big list. And so it was like 100 people. Week 1, I just made a huge list. And that was I kept the first 5 pages of subject 1 open. Okay. And then I put like a tab, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my invites. And then subject 2 is going to be my follow-ups, and then subject line 3 was going to be my Beachbody customers. Okay, so those have kind of always been my categories, even now. My big contact list, my invites, my Beachbody, my follow-ups, and my Beachbody customers. So my invites, my big contact list, my invites, my follow-ups, and my Beachbody customers. Okay, I don't have a list for forms. I don't make a list of people I'm forming with. I just form to form. There's no rhyme or reason or agenda. And then along with my big contact list, I save those couple pages open. I also have my 10 in play. So I've invited and I've followed up, and these people are like in it. They're in it to win it. They're like, yes. They've said yes. They are in my 10 in play list, and I always make sure I have at least 10 of those, and they're always open on my desk in my notebook, 10 in play. They're always right there so that I can count them and make sure I have 10 or more at all times. When I fall to 8, I step up my inviting so that I can get that number up to 10, because that means I am like 10 people have said yes to me. That doesn't mean they're all going to sign up, but 10 people have said yes to me, okay? Usually 3 of them sign up. So of that 10 in play, you know, people say, how often do you follow up? If they have said yes, they hear from Nicole L. Jones every 48 hours until they are in that computer, or they have said buzz off. In 5 years, no one has ever told me to buzz off. They just simply say, hey, you know what? I just had to, a lot of times I just had to get something fixed in my car. A big expense just came up. That's usually what they end up saying, whether it's true or not. It's all good. So I say, okay, yeah, no worries. Thanks for letting me know. Can I follow up with you in 2 weeks or when my next challenge group starts? Yes, please do. So then they go in my follow-up list for 3 to 4 weeks from now to see if they paid off their alternator. Yeah, whatever. It's usually car. It's usually something big happened with their car. So they hear from me every 48 hours until they're in, or until they give me an excuse as to why they're not going to do it right now. So they go to my not now list, which is also my follow-up list. Okay. Now, that can get big and crazy, right? So all of a sudden you're like, Nicole, I'm inviting 25 people a week. How do I follow up with all these people, right? That's a lot of lists and a lot of pages in a notebook, okay? So another way you could do it, if you love Excel, go crazy in Excel. I hate Excel, so I'm never going to use that. But if you love Excel and color coding and using formulas, do it. Do whatever you got to do Excel. The other thing that I used to do, I've done this 2 ways. So it depends on how you want to do this. I've had a binder system. Now you have to kind of listen close, and please stop me and unmute yourself if you're like, wait, what? Say that again. I'm going to say it 2 different ways, and I'm going to say it a couple times because I wish I had one to show you. You can do this in an index card system, or you can do this in a binder, okay? So basically, and this is super duper effective. I did this for probably 3 years in my Beachbody business until I needed something online. So this is a great way to start. I went to Staples and I got an index card box, and I got a ton of index cards, and then I got those little tabs that go in the index things, okay? And what it was is I would have the tabs, I would have 12 tabs, and they'd be all 12 months of the year. And then I would have 31 tabs so that I could write 1 through 31 for the days of the month, okay? So today is August 10th. So I would go to my index card box, and I would have my 3 invites for the day sitting there. They would be on an index card. They were from my big contact list, right? So I would write on 3 index cards every day, and I would put them 3 in the 10th, 3 August 11th, 3 August 12th. So on Sundays, I would write out my 3 people every day. I would put 1 on each index card, and I would put 3 in each day of the week that was coming up, okay? I would do the same thing for forms. So say on August, say today is day 1 that you're doing this. So August 10th, you wake up that morning and you already know your 3 invites. They're right there. They're sitting in your August 10th slot in your index card box, okay? So you invite, you would write little notes on the index card, just, you know, invited, and what you wrote, okay? You take that index card and you move it to August 13th, okay? So now when August 13th comes, you have your 3 invites on August 13th, but then you also have 3 follow-ups from August 10th, right? So those 3 index cards are sitting in that box, okay? The tricky part is when August 10th, you do your invites, you put them in August 13th, and August 11th, they get back to you, and you're like, shit, where are they in the box? So you just kind of have to try to figure out some sort of system in that. So I would just look real quick. I was like, wait, I know I talked to that person. So it's not the most effective, but seriously, it works. So I would just do that. And I would have different colors for Beachbody customers. Okay, so Beachbody customers would get a different color. I might even like take a highlighter if I had already invited them, and I would say, okay, my 10 in play would have like a green box on them at the top so that I could kind of see them, and green meant money. They were the money. They were saying yes. They were my 10 in play, right? I also had them on a piece of paper. My 10 in play are very important, so I have them in a couple places. I would have them on a piece of paper, but then they would also be in my index card box, okay? And then once they signed up, index card torn up, gone, they're in, okay? Once they told me no, not now, they would go into another month box, right? So I'm in August and they're like, no, I'm good. I may follow up with them in the fall or the holiday time. See if they want to do a holiday group, okay? So they'll go in November because I made those tabs for the month of the year. You could also do this in a binder. So same thing. You could use big pieces of paper for everybody, and you could put them in a binder system, 1 to 31, January through December, and you could move them through the binder system. You would unhook the 3-ring binder, take out the piece of paper, move them through the binder. So the idea is that you're moving people through the box or through the binder. And my goal was always to make this box smaller. I was signing people up, right? Was to rip up these index cards. Okay, so that worked really well with me for a few years. And then I couldn't do it anymore because it was crazy. So other systems that I've used, I used Salesforce for a really long time, and I really liked it. It was $60 for the entire year. It's salesforce.com. They don't have to, you don't need anything higher than the $60 a year. You don't need anything else, okay? And again, it's the same idea of the index card box, but it's computerized. So I would open up Salesforce, August 10th, it would tell me who I had to talk to that day. So it was easier to find them because I could type in their name instead of looking for them in a box, okay? So that's the difference. It's like you can type, when you're about to follow up with them, you can type their name in. I currently use, what the heck do I use? What's that system that the Beachbody coach came out with? What is it, Amy? You're muted. I can't read your lips. ACEO, thank you. Automatic. So it's $24 a month or something, and it's a Beachbody system. Well, it's like a Salesforce, but a Beachbody coach created it, and he, I don't know, he got it approved through compliance. But same type of thing like Salesforce, but what he does is he takes it to an extra level where they actually create like e-cards and stuff that you can send to your Beachbody customers. So you can certainly check that out. I think they always have free webinars, free trials, all sorts of stuff like that. We are moving over to Infusionsoft, I believe, because that's what our coach module system's on. So we automatically get a contact management system through there. Honestly, right now for me, I'm like, and this has kind of always been, I don't stress about, oh crap, I lost someone in the index card box, I lost someone in Salesforce, I lost someone in Automatic CEO. I'm always focused on my 10 in play. I have right now everybody's coming in through my like page and they're coming in through a business opportunity post. So in my email, in my Gmail, there's a folder called business opportunity. And so what I do there is everybody who I'm talking to is in that folder. If I really like them, I'll put them on a list. I'm like, oh, this person I want on the team. So I'll put them on a list. The other thing I'll do is I'll friend them on Facebook personally so that they can follow me. So when I announce I have a challenge group coming up or a sneak peek coming up, they message me. Hey, I want to get in that. Okay. So those are just a lot of different ideas. Honestly, I would just pick one and do it for now and just see what works best. Again, it's probably you're gonna outgrow whatever system you choose, but it's better maybe than if you're not doing anything right now. It's better than nothing, right? All right, cool. So that's kind of all I had for those questions. Is there feel free to unmute yourself and ask anything. This is a free-for-all Q&A night. Yeah?
All right, I'll go.
Amy?
All right, this Elance thing. Trying to put an ad in there, and you're saying just put something like I would in Google, and that's just a couple of words. But there's a whole section to describe what I'm looking for. So can you kind of give me an idea of what that looks like?
So what are you looking for to do?
I want to find somebody who can understand what I'm looking for in who I'm trying to attract on my life page for lifers, and get them to understand who I am, how I write, what my purpose is and my vision is, and then have them write me a bunch of posts and find pictures to go with them.
Okay. So you're looking for someone to manage your Facebook like page social media posts.
Okay, really? Okay.
So that's what you type. I'm looking for someone to manage my Facebook like page posts. I want you to get to know me and know my personality and come up with posts that speak like me and attach photos to them so that I can attract my ideal customers.
Okay, so that's what I'm putting in the describe part. Okay. That confused me when you said write like Google. I'm like, well, I don't write all that in Google.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, Elance is a great way to manage your time. If there is something you totally suck at, like you guys, I know a lot of you guys, like, oh, well, you have Mark. Okay, if you don't have a Mark, there are plenty of Marks on Elance. And you put in, it's elance.com, and you hire these contractors. These contractors work for Elance, and they're all over the world. And you hire them to do something specific that you want to do. So when we first got on Elance, I was like, I don't know, I need someone to get me more followers on Instagram, but I wanted to be legit followers. So we hired this girl for $40 for the week, and she upped my followers by 1,000. And she basically shared posts and made posts for me, and we told her we were into health and fitness, and so she just did all these health and fitness tips on my Instagram, and she got us 1,000 followers in a week for $40. So worth your time to just do something like that, just to hire someone. And you do exactly what I told Amy. You type in, hey, I'm looking for someone to find me legit Instagram followers for my health and fitness business. You just type it. I'm looking for someone to do a thingy. You could even say, you just describe what the thingy is, and then they send you in, you get bids or proposals from 7 different contractors or something, and you decide who you want to hire. And the thing that you want to look for in hiring these people is their referrals, their ratings, how many stars they have, and make sure it's not, this is my, oh my gosh, you're going to be my first job. Yeah, no, don't be their guinea pig. Okay. And then you actually don't pay them until the job is done and until you're satisfied with it. So if you want someone to write you a blog and they send it back and you're like, no, that's not what I wanted. Can you try again? So you don't actually have to pay them until it's what you want. So, but again, it's like finding the right therapist, the right hairdresser. Yeah, if you have one dud on Elance, forget it. Elance stupid, Nicole's a liar. No, try again. Try again. Okay, so it's trial and error, but it's good. It's a good way to just save yourself some serious time. If there's something that you've been trying to figure out since you've joined this whole Beachbody thing and it just keeps getting put on your back burner, hire someone on Elance to do it because they can.
Amy, are you looking for them to manage your like page totally, or what?
No, I want them to write me a boatload of posts, and then I'll go in and I'll schedule them, and I'll have to go through the post myself and make sure it's my voice, but just to have some content available to be able to post consistently.
That's a good idea.
There's another really good, so Megan, if you're looking for someone so Mark and I'll let you guys know how this goes too if you want us to do it first, but Shalene has told us about a company, I forget the name of it, Mark probably knows, but it's a general virtual assistant that we'd be hiring, and it's a company in the Philippines, and you pay them $600 a month, and this one GVA, it's called, will manage like a team of people that'll be working for you. So we're going to start with, I want someone to actually manage my social media sites. Like I want to talk to people personally, but I want them to make my posts on Instagram, do some tweets for me, make my posts on my like page, and just kind of run my whole social media so that I don't have to, or like, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but like, when you get a like from Shalene, it's usually not Shalene. Sometimes it is.
Oh, no.
I know, sorry. But, she has a general virtual assistant that anytime someone's tagging her or hashtagging her, they go through and like everybody's stuff, So that's kind of, and it's $600 a month, and they're a company in the Philippines, and, so we're looking to do that. But we started on Elance, and it's been great. And so, yeah.
That Elance or something like that is in the 4-Hour Workweek, that book.
Yep.
I heard. Yeah. I was like, oh, you can hire people to do that?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
For cheap. Yeah, for cheap. They'll totally do. I think Odesk is the other one. Elance or Odesk. They're very, very similar. We've used both. Yeah.
Hey, Nicole. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you know if anybody on Elance would be familiar with Automatic CEO and how that works? Because I really want to customize those automatic email responders, but I just keeps going to the bottom of the list.
I don't know if specifically they would be.
They could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just give people what they want. Just tell them exactly what you're looking for. You'll find somebody. There's somebody out there for everybody.
I logged on a little bit late. Did you answer my question?
I don't know. What was yours?
How do you deal with a slow month?
Oh, I did not. Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly, here's my mindset. For 5 years in Beachbody, I've never had a slow month. And honestly, like there's been slower months for sure. There's months I hit Success Club 5 on the 30th, and then there's months that, like now I'm already at 8. But I don't think it's like it's not a universal thing. It's like a mindset shift for you. Like December for me is always one of my biggest months out of the year. And I think it's just, I take those first 2 weeks and I am like heavy, because I know after the 15th, I've lost everyone, until the new year. So I think it's a mindset shift. I would do like fun contests, whatever you think you can do to get over that hump of a slow month. But I think if you keep telling yourself it's a slow month and you're going to struggle, then that will happen all the way until the last day of the month. So I think it's I think if you shift your mindset and you shift your affirmation to, this is going to be one of my biggest months ever. It's Team Cup. I'm super excited. My team is going to grow exponentially. I can totally do this. And you up your invites or you up your like page stuff, then I think that will make for a bigger month. I think it's a shift for you that you kind of have to do it, as hokey as that sounds, because I know you're not a big fan of that.
I'm getting there. It is a mind thing. I mean, last month I had like, I don't know, 15 or something Success Club points or something. And so I don't know what it is. And I know that we still have a lot of months to go, but I don't like this feeling of not having like at least like 10 in play. Like I've got all my invites out. I've got all that stuff. And I'm trying to say remain calm. Like they're going to come. Like you're doing the work. It's going to happen. I learned that one from you too. But it's for some reason I'm like freaking. I'm stressing about it. So do you have like anything that you listen to or for friends or anyone else on here? Because I know that you said you don't deal with it.
Well, no, I do. I do. I just don't ever, I've never just said, oh, this is always a slow month, so it's going to be a slow, like I never just say that it's going to be a slow month, even though, it is sometimes. I tell everyone who's in this mind fog, no matter what it is, you're not getting your workouts in, you're not getting your workouts in. It's me right now. Whatever it is you're not doing, I tell people to unplug for like 24 hours and just drown yourself into personal development. Like you will feel you'll have anxiety for the first few hours. Like you'll be like, oh my gosh, where's my phone? What's going on? But if you can just literally, and it doesn't have to be for a full 24 hours, but even if you can take 2 hours to just unplug and just immerse yourself in something and then come back for 10 minutes and then go right back to it, do way more personal development in all avenues than you have been doing, for the next 24 to 48 hours, and things will just start to shift for sure. And it's nothing specific. It's just whatever kind of, usually for me, it starts with heading to the water and journaling, and that then just opens some floodgates of, grabbing a book like The Energy Bus, or I love grabbing, when I'm in that type of mindset, Og Mandino's Greatest Miracle of the World, or Life's Golden Ticket. I think those three are my biggest mind shift books for me, because it reminds me of how lucky I am, how grateful we are, everything we have in life. Like it just takes you to that place of stop whining about how, So
who's that preacher that you love?
He's actually not a preacher.
Name?
It's E.T. the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's just gonna yell at you, but he's great. Yep.
That's why I need that. Okay.
Yeah, he'll just. Yeah. He's heavy duty. He's hardcore into you have to want it as bad as you want to breathe. You have to want this. So
yeah. Okay. Thanks.
He's a fan of you not sleeping. He's a fan of you working 22 hours a day, but you get the idea through him. Yeah.
Nicole,
Else?
can you hear me? Flora,
Hello.
hi. So I have two things. So I just got a message that someone wants to know what fix-it is in pharmacology.
Pharmacology. Good one. Fix it. From Wreck-It Ralph.
And the other thing about like sharing your story.
Yep.
So I was gonna like post something tonight, but I feel like I should go back to like way back, because it brought me to like where I am today, like kind of my adversity. So I just didn't want it to be like too much, but I feel like it's important because it kind of tells who I am.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. So in sharing your story is like 30 years of your story, right? So there's
Right.
like, how do I pick and choose
Right.
what to share? You're going to share it all, but it's going to be over time.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is the more you post bits and pieces of your story, there's going to be one story or one section of it that you keep sharing that gets a ton of people to relate to you in.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
for me, it's the 5 years ago, the groceries, the no gas, like that's the story.
Right.
But I've also talked about, other pieces of my story with, feeling lethargic after
Right.
the kids and everybody's like, yeah. But that one story is where everybody's like, or the bankruptcy, the 7
Right.
figures, like that's what catches everyone. But I've shared lots of other pieces of my story. So yeah, I would even start, Laura, with something like, you had shared with me last week when you signed up, like your why, I've been following these Beachbody people for a couple of years. I've been wondering, what can I do? My son's been to all these doctors and they haven't been able to figure out what's wrong with him. And I just figured, what did I have to lose by giving this a try? Like getting
Right.
that piece of your story out there is going to be big.
Right.
And then Sunday night, go back in time, or however you want to get it out there. But yeah, you can get it out there in bits and pieces. It's not going to be all in tonight's post.
Right. Okay.
People are gonna, not read because it's too long,
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's the other thing you want to do when you're making posts. Anytime someone says long post alert, I'm out. For me, I'm out. I don't care who you are. Like some of my personally sponsored coaches will do it and I'll read 2 sentences because I'm like, I can't. So you want to make sure, but that's just me. You may have lifers that are like, ooh, and
Right.
then they're like, want to read the novel. So whoever your lifers are, just talk to whoever they are. Like, don't,
Okay.
so if you think that the majority of your people that you're going to connect with are going to love reading a novel, then write it. But, for me, if I have to hit see more and then it opens a whole nother Facebook page, like a whole window, okay, that's too long, so yeah, short and sweet is kind of what I like, but getting that point across, so.
Okay.
And you're gonna play around with that too, guys. You're gonna be like, oh crap, that was too long. Nobody likes it. All right, that was too short. I didn't say enough. But so just keep the biggest tip that I can tell you in all of your Beachbody journey is just keep going. Just never quit. Don't ever message me or your upline coach and be like, you know what, I'm out. Don't do it, because you are like this close to success. You're so close. You just have to keep going. There's coaches that have been with me for 4 years, 5 years that are just not where they want to be, but they're here for a reason. I have Emerald coaches that have been with me for 5 years that have had a diamond date for 5 years, but they're still here for a reason, because they know that they know they're not going to ever give up. They're just waiting. They're just going to find a piece of them that is going to emerge, and that fear is going to go away, and they are going to become absolute rock stars. And I have no doubt in my mind. I wait on the edge of my seat, for that day for so many of them. And you guys have to remember, as you start signing business partners like that, don't push them. If someone says to you, hey, so I would like to be Emerald by Christmas, and they tell you that today, great. Even though you know that you became Emerald in 24 hours, if they would like to wait 6 months, that's their choice. That's their journey. That's their choice. You're going to have sprinters, and then you're going to have your walkers and your crawlers, and that's okay. Because they need to feel confident and they need to feel comfortable. You can certainly say to them, like I'll have people say that to me, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I totally think you can do that in 30 days. But yeah, let's just put a plan in place and see what happens. And but if I say, no, you can totally do that like tomorrow, let's do this, they're gonna be like, whoa. So you just have to just meet your coaches with what they want. You have to do that. You have to know what they want. As much as them getting to Emerald would help you get to Diamond. It's not about you. It's about them. And so you have to just allow that to happen for them, because what's going to happen is they're going to self-discover how amazing they can be. And then they're going to be some of your most successful coaches. If you push someone to get to Emerald or Diamond, they're going to lose it like that. So you just have to step back and tell them. But if they're saying to you, I want to be Diamond, in 30 days, and they want to like quit their full-time job, and they're not doing any of the action steps that get there, then yes, you have to push them. You're like, okay, you said you want to quit this part-time job, but you're not even hitting Success Club. So what do you tell me? How do we want to do this? So you have to kind of guide people, and you have to guide your challengers. The same thing. The other biggest thing I can tell you with never give up is have patience. And you have to tell your challengers this, right? Like your challengers are like, at day 8, they're like, forget it, this program's stupid. You're like, did it take you 8 days to put on 50 pounds? Probably not. So you have to like remind them that you got to be patient. It's going to take you a little while to lose the weight, or, to get back to, we're not in high school anymore. We're not going to bounce back as quickly as we used to, so just kind of make sure you're listening to your coaches, you're listening to your challengers, the 3 words I tell you guys, your job is to educate, inspire, and motivate. It's never to argue and convince. Educate, inspire, motivate, never argue and convince. Okay, so if someone comes at you with, I'm going to go try some GNC shakes, you can educate them and tell them, that'd be awesome. I'm like so proud of you for at least trying something. Let me just tell you that I would love you to compare the labels and Google the first 5 ingredients on that shake and Google the first 5 ingredients on Shakeology and tell me what you find out. So just educate them so that they know, but then it still support them no matter what their choice is, right? All right?
Yes.
Good. It's been an hour, so I'm sure you've had enough of me. So this will be up tomorrow because Mark's sleeping and I don't know how to do it. So, and I'm not hiring someone on Elance because I have a Mark. All right. So have an amazing night, and we will catch you all on Facebook. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you.